Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got a Bible review twofer for you today. Now, I don't normally like doing two Bibles at once, but the manufacturers of these particular Bibles are running a sale right now, and you can actually get both of these Bibles for less than $40. If you want to go ahead and purchase them, I'll leave a link below in the description for you guys to go ahead and check them out. So, we'll go ahead and get started. These are produced by God's Word to the Nations Mission Society, and they're a mission, so they're not charging much more than what they're paying for these Bibles to get produced. Which would be why they can offer them for such a discounted price. I have a large print here, and then this one is a wide margin. I guess we'll go ahead and start with the large print, and then we'll compare the two. So the large print features a 12-point font, which would be why it's a large print. The wide margin is a 10.5-point font. We'll go ahead and take a look at the cover here. It does have a nice design debossed there. It's kind of some reeds, and then you have a double line of stitches there, and then God's Word debossed in the corner there. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Now on the spine, we have God's Word, deluxe large print, and then God's Word to the Nations Mission Society right there, debossed. And on the back, it's clean up at the top, and then at the bottom we have the Bible for a Lifetime, God's Word translation, and the ISBN number. Now, a note on this cover they call Duravella, and on the website it says that it's leather-like. It is definitely not leather-like. I would not compare it to leather. I don't know why they do. It's more of a, maybe much more like utilitarian feel. It feels like very rubbery kind of, and it's nice to me because it grips your hand very nicely. I know with some like smooth leather covers, you hold the Bible and you start holding it at an angle, and it just feels like it's going to go whoop right out of your hand. This is not the case with this one. I feel pretty secure holding this one, and I do like the fact that it is more rubbery of a feeling cover because it just feels like it's going to hold up better than other kind of standard synthetic covers. So just my take. Now on the top, you can see that there are like a dark gray head and tail band to match, and a light gray ribbon. The ribbon is a single-sided satin. You can see there it's kind of rough on the other end, smooth on one side. And then I don't know if you can call this gilt. It's not gold, but it is silver, so maybe silver gilting, I guess. It does look very nice either way, especially for the price that you're paying for this Bible. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the inside. We have a paper paste down liner, and it's just a gray paper here. On the thicker side, not super thick. The cover is nice and flexible. I mean, not as flexible as like a goatskin cover, but more flexible for just a paste down cover. We'll take a look at the corner work here. There you go. Go ahead and get into the biblical text. The first page here, we have a presentation page. And then you have your title page, God's Word, the Bible in clear natural English, deluxe large print, and more information down there. Now the God's Word translation is a little more on the thought for thought scale, so just be aware of that if you're getting into it. And then we have some publication information here about the Bible, and the table of contents. The preface. You can see how nice and large this font is. The Old Testament title page. And Genesis. Now, definitely you can see how big the font is. The website claims it is a 12-point. We'll go ahead and get you nice and tight there so you can see it. It is a very nice font, very large. Turn the page here. And we do have up in the top corners, you have the beginning book and verse and chapter, and the ending book, chapter, and verse. Page numbers in the top middle. And then there are little callouts here. I guess summaries, headers for the section that you're in. It is a single column paragraph setting. And it does look fairly nice. The layout. There are translator footnotes at the bottom that you can see. I'll show you one there. We'll go through it here. I'm going to go kind of quick because I got two of them. So we'll scoot on over to the poetic books. And it does look like there was quite a nice attempt to kind of even out the lines. This poetry does look like actual poetry, which is nice for once to see in a Bible. I do very much appreciate when they kind of even out the lines here and it just looks, nice. Obviously, they could have probably done a little bit better with this one because there's, the single word line, but for the most part, it is very well done. All right, let's keep going. Get to the New Testament right quick. New Testament title page. Where are you? You have your New Testament title page. And your New Testament. Matthew. We'll go to Matthew 5 and 6. It is a black letter text, you can see. Let me get you in nice and tight there. Now, the website claims that there's line matching, but that is not the case. You can see it pretty well here. The lines aren't really that well matched. It's kind of half in, halfway through, that sort of thing. So just be aware of that. And the paper on this edition is a little on the thin side, so there is a little bit of ghosting. It's not terrible for me. Again, I'm not much of a paper snob, so I might not be like the best person to judge that by, but to me, it's not that bad. It's noticeable to me, but again, not that bad. Now, if you're more worried about ghosting, I would definitely recommend picking up the other edition because the paper on that one is much better than this. But let's flip to the end. I think there's not very much at the end here. So Revelation wraps up. Then you have Bible study helps, the teachings of Jesus with some verse references. Then you have a application index. So it kind of it's kind of an index based on like a topical index kind of. And that's it. You have one cardstock page at the end, the flyleaf, and that's all. Let's go ahead and take a look at the wide margin. Oh, this one's a beefy boy. So the same kind of Duravella material cover. All the imprinting is the same on the spine. The ISBN number has been updated on the back. And then you have on this one burgundy head and tail bands, and then one single-sided burgundy ribbon there. You have burgundy end sheets on the paste down. Then you have your title page, presentation page, and then your second title page, or I guess your official title page. So this is Deluxe Wide Margin Bible. Now they do have this one listed at a 10.5 point font, so a 10.5 point font. And you'll see that the font size is a little bit smaller. I'll go ahead and do a comparison in a second. We have the table of contents again, and then this one has an introduction to God's saving word. I don't know if that's the same as the preface, to be honest, from the other one. Then you have life applications, another like topical index, this one being at the beginning this time. And then your Old Testament title page. And there you go, right into the book of Genesis. Now, it is kind of the same layout, similar here. Let's turn the page. You do have your page numbers in the top corners, and then you have your starting book, chapter, and verse, and your ending book, chapter, and verse. You do have your footnotes at the bottom, and it is a single column paragraph layout. Now, you will see these humongous wide margins at the side. Let's go ahead and measure them. I'm seeing about an inch and, goodness, about an inch and 5/8. So, pretty sizable area there for your notes. Over to the poetic setting. My plan for this Bible, when I get around to reading it, God willing, is that I will. I want to do kind of like an illustrated Bible, so I want to, draw some sort of things and that kind of thing as I'm reading through His Word. So I'm excited about getting around to this one when I get a chance to. And there you go. There's the poetic setting. Very nicely done, just like the other one. Very well done. I give them kudos, man. I love it when Bible producers take their time and they make the poetic sections look really nice like this. Go ahead and take a look at the paper, excuse me. Now you can see the line matching is very nicely done here. And it definitely helps mitigate some of that show through. Plus the paper feels thicker, definitely thicker than the other one. So show through is pretty minimal in this. Perfect for writing, I would imagine. Especially given the price. Let's get over to the New Testament. And you'll see that it is a black letter text. We'll get to the end here. A little bit of the same information. Now, obviously, this is a chunky Bible, so you're going to have to kind of kind of pull it and move it as you're going through it. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of reading on a curve there. But it's simple enough, right? All right, the end of Revelation. And we have the teachings of Jesus. And the translation process of God's Word. Kind of interesting. Walk you through it. Explanation of why they did what they did. And then you have a little note here about God's Word to the nations. I'll pull it in here for you if you guys want any additional information on it. Then you have one blank sheet. And then the back fly leaf there. So, let me get you some measurements real quick. Thankfully, they measure the font for me, so we won't have to do that. I'll get you out of the way. Ka-ching! Out of there. Get out of there, right? All right, and this one measures, the wide margin measures at 9 3/8 of an inch tall by 6 3/8 of an inch wide. Oh, and it's a chunk, a real chunk. And it's 2 1/8 inches wide, thick. Excuse me. Let's look at the large print. Large print's a little smaller, much more manageable size. And that comes in at 8 5/8 inches tall by 5 3/4 inch wide, and about 1 5/8 inches thick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the text comparison between the two. And you can also compare the show through on the paper. So obviously this is the large print, it's a 12-point font, and this is the wide margin, it's a 10.5 font. You can see that this font is much bigger than this one, but the readability on this one is much better. The ghosting is much less. And the line matching, the true line matching on this one helps it a lot. So I guess it's a toss-up, depends on what you're looking for. This is a more manageable size, but the paper is a little less on the quality department. This one's a much larger size, but you get much better paper. I mean, like leaps and bounds better paper. So it's going to be your choice ultimately. Or you can just do the 2-for deal for less than $40 and get them both, right? All right, so Bible Buddies, if you have any questions, comments, concerns for my well-being, please feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, Bible Buddies, I will leave a link in the description for you guys to buy these. And until next time, Bible Buddies, bye.